Hey eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thanks for coming back for another episode. And today I'm going to empower you with a tip of how to find the name of a style or detail on clothing, shoes, handbags, any of those things by using style guides. And this is becoming more and more important as eBay adds more options to the style section of the listing, which I'm going to show you that in just a minute. If you don't know what the style of something is, you need to do that research and figure it out. I see a lot of questions on my Facebook group every day. What style is this? What kind of handbag is this? What do you call these shoes? What is this collar called? And part of being an eBay seller is learning to find that information on your own. And I know as social media has developed over the years, it's just become easier to get kind of lazy on the research and ask other people for the answer. And there's a couple of problems with that. First of all, when you ask somebody else, you give away your power. You're waiting for them to answer. It may take a while to get an answer. The other thing is their answer may not be correct. And you may put wrong information in your listing based on what somebody else has said on a Facebook group. And if it's something in your listing that's incorrect, you could get an item not as described. Or if it's something in the title and in the description that's wrong, it's not going to come up and search the right way, and you may be missing opportunities because you don't have the right keywords in there. So it's really, really important as an eBay seller who's running a business to empower yourself to find the right information the right way. And sure, yes, we all know there's wrong information on the internet, but if you do the research correctly and look at different ways of researching things, then you're more likely to come up with the right answer rather than just posting your question on a Facebook group and waiting for an answer. This may be a generational thing or just a laziness thing, but people on these groups get tired of answering these kind of questions. They're there to learn too, and it's so easy to Google things. It's so easy to use other resources on the internet to find your answers that it's just really not efficient for the person asking the question or the person answering the question to do this on Facebook groups as a habit, as your protocol for finding an answer. You should really learn how to do the research yourself. So I'm done preaching about that, but so let's go over to eBay here, and let me show you what I'm talking about with when you would need to find the correct style for something. So this is my account. So like if we're going to go to dresses, let's say you have a dress and you don't know what to call it. And I see you guys are looking at this dress that I had on my Goodwill haul video last week. So it's got lots of views. I see you guys are looking at it. So thanks for visiting my store. But when you go to sell an item, we're going to look at dresses in this situation. When you go down to the bottom here, right before the description box, you've got a section that says style. And some of these will be pre-filled as boxes, and then you can choose from this drop-down menu. And this is where some people get in trouble because they may not know. They may just guess. And you don't want to do that because when a buyer goes on eBay, so let's say I'm a buyer and I want to look for let's pick one of these. Let's say a wrap dress. So I'm going to search for that, and then all these options are going to come up. And first of all, you want it in your title, whatever the type of dress is, you want that in your title. But when you look over here to style, and you see that the buyer can choose what they want to look at, if your dress or item is categorized incorrectly and you were over here listing the item and you just pick one because you didn't know, it's going to be in the wrong place if it's not categorized correctly, if you didn't choose correctly. So let's say somebody didn't really know what a wrap dress was and they said, oh, this just looks like I don't know, a shift dress. So when a buyer goes to search for wrap dress, if your item is not categorized correctly, it's not going to show up in their filtered search. So that's why this is so important, because these are filters. This is how the buyer is going to filter down or eliminate things they don't want to look at. And they want to look at exactly what they're trying to search for to buy. So that's why this is so important. So if we go back over here, again, you can see all of the styles are listed. So you don't want to add anything. You don't want to add something that's not already here, because it won't be over here when a buyer tries to search for it. You want it to choose from the categories that are already there. So I hope that makes sense. So how do you know what to call something? Well, you go to Pinterest and you can look up dress style guide. Now, a style guide is, I like the ones that are drawings, or drawings with colored in, but it's very easy to see what the style of something is. That's not loading. So you can see here, we've got A-line, apron, asymmetrical, ball gown, basic, all these different styles. So you can see what your dress is, or what your item is, the exact name of it. And this is important in the title, because people are going to search for that, as well as in the classification of the category on eBay when you're over here checking off what it is. So when you go to Pinterest, you can look up any kind of style guide you want. For example, we just saw dresses. You could do skirt. Oops, I guess I should have put a space in there. And let's see what that is. And so here's one that's good, that's got all of the different styles that you can use. This is helpful for titles in your description area, as well as choosing the item specific of what type of style it is. And these are very helpful, because in fashion things change. 3 years ago, some of these words weren't on there, but 50 years ago, some of them were. So there's classic styles that last the test of time, and then there's other styles that come out that they come up with names for. So another one for women that's really important is necklines, because women know what kind of neckline they like. They know what's flattering to their figure, to their face, with what kind of jewelry they want to wear, all of that. And men's clothing, they don't really have many necklines. They have pretty much like t-shirt, crew neck, button up with a collar, polo style. That's kind of it. There's not a whole lot of choices. Turtleneck maybe, v-neck, but women's, you get a lot. There's a lot of variety with necklines. So here's another one here that shows sweetheart, straight, off the shoulder, scoop, v-neck, all of that. Now, what do you do if you've got a neckline or a style that is not shown over here on the eBay choices? What do you do? Because that's a common thing. So let me go and choose a top here and do sell similar, so I can get to that part of the listing form. Okay, so if we go down here, let's see if they have, here's neckline right here. So there's not a ton of choices on neckline. You can see there's not near as many as there are over here on the style guide. So what you're going to do is just pick the one it's closest to. Just pick the one it's closest to, and then in your title and your description, you can add the more descriptive word from a style guide. So you may see something like Grecian. That's definitely not going to be on on eBay. So, what is that closest to? That might be closest to, I don't even know which one you would pick here, but you just have to make a decision here. I just don't recommend adding them, because when you add them, they're not going to be over here in these choices that the customer can filter with. And that's where a lot of you guys are getting lost in the shuffle, because you're getting views on your item maybe, but you're not getting as many as you could because things might not be classified correctly. So it is kind of a tricky thing when you don't have a lot of choices here. You just have to do the best you can with what's provided. But eBay is getting better at adding more of these so that they show up over here on the filters. So like if we go to, let's just put in the gold top. Well, that's gonna pull up a zillion things. Black V-neck top. So like if we go to this one here, just to see what our choices are. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh, that is a cute top there. Let's see. I think we have to narrow this down before it's going to give us those choices. It's got sleeve style and just style. So let's see what all the styles are here. So there's a lot of these here that the buyer can search from, but not all of them are included here. So you just have to go with the most basic one. So this one was definitely a V-neck, the one that I was searching for, just hypothetically. But this is what the buyer can sort by. So it's a little confusing there. But what I have come to understand in studying this is that you just want to stick with what is already here. Don't add anything, so that it is more searchable and sortable by your buyer. So I hope that makes sense. So anyway, back to Pinterest. You can also look up style guides for handbags. And this is very helpful because I see a lot of you out there selling handbags and you don't know what to call it. So this is really helpful to figure out the name of it. And you may have to go to more than one style guide to find what you're looking for. Another way to do it is to go to a major retailer site. So let's say we just go to Nordstrom. If it will load. Let's see if that's going to come up. My computer always gets stuck when I'm trying to do this. Okay, and if we go to handbags on Nordstrom, Macy's, even Kohl's, any major retailer that has a large stock of whatever type of item you're looking for. And then you can go over here, like they've got style of bag. So you can see they have all of these different types that you can look at to figure out what it is that you have. Crossbody, camera, bucket, backpacks, all that. And so when you pick on one, when you choose one, it will give you more information in their title. It's going to tell you what. So this is a fold over crossbody bag. So maybe you've got something like this. And the reason I say to go to a major retailer site rather than do all your research on eBay is sometimes people on eBay don't have the right words. They're guessing too. And if you follow suit with their keywords and they don't have it right, then your listing's going to be wrong. So if you're not sure, use a major retailer site or a style guide to find the right answer, because let's face it, these retailers, Nordstrom, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Saks Fifth Avenue, all of that, they have $1 million advertising budgets. They have people that are paid big money to figure this out and optimize their website and have the right names on things so that they will come up in search. So this is huge for them. They've already done the work. we can follow suit with what we're doing based on what these major retailers are doing. So it always helps you to have the most descriptive keywords you can. Now, there is a fine line between how much research should you do and when to just cut it off and list it. So you don't want to spend hours and hours researching the name of a handbag. That's not a good use of your time. Maybe 5 minutes. Check on eBay, check your style guide, jump on Nordstrom, make sure you've got it right, and get the item listed. Because that's another thing, that's another video probably, is how much time should I spend researching something for eBay? Well, some of it depends on what it is. If it's a collectible, if it's a one-of-a-kind thing, if it's World War II veteran memorabilia, that's going to be a whole different thing than a pair of shoes you found at Goodwill. So you have to make a judgment call on that as far as how much time you're going to spend. So anyway, the bottom line is use the style guides on Pinterest to find the names of things, because anything you want is there. Let me show you one more, because this is a good one. Coats. There's a lot of coats out there. This one's actually for men, but this has all the different names of different types of coats. And so that's what you want to narrow in on, is getting the name of the type of item correct so that you can match the search of your buyer, because that's what eBay is all about, is coming up in searches. And if you have not taken advantage of my store critique service, I highly recommend that. I will put the video to that above this so you can go see what that's all about. But I see this almost every day when I'm working on these. It's not that you don't have the right things to sell. It's not that you don't have great items or great pictures. It's you're not doing the right things to come up in search, or you're doing things that are hurting your search placement and pushing you down, and you just don't know. There's a lot to learn with eBay. And I've been doing this a long time, since 2003, and I've learned a lot along the way that I can help you with your store so that you can sell more and that you can make more money. So check out that service if you haven't done that. But anyway, bottom line is use the choices here that eBay provides. Wait for eBay to add more in here. Don't add your own, because it's not going to be as effective in search. And do a little bit of extra research if you don't know the style of something. I'm not trying to tell you this has to take longer, because some of you are already having issues with your listing taking a long time. But if you're doing all this work and you're not using the right words and buyers can't find your items, then all of that work is for nothing. If it's just like having a restaurant, the greatest restaurant in the world, but it's way off in the woods somewhere and nobody knows it's there. Nobody can find it. So you have to make sure that you're doing everything you can so that buyers find your listings. So that being said, just wanted to point out style guides and see if you're using those. Thanks so much for watching. I would love your comments below. Have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.